Welcome to our deep dive into a really powerful system for achieving financial independence. Now, whether you're brand new to this or you've been with us for the whole journey, today is special. We're going to zoom all the way out. We're finally going to see the big picture, how every single piece of this 13-step strategy connects to form one clear, actionable path forward. So let's just get right into it. Why does finance feel so chaotic? You know the feeling, right? It's like you have a dozen different apps running in the background of your life, and they're all just crashing into each other. There's this constant tension. One part of you is screaming for freedom, while the other part is just terrified of losing that steady paycheck. Look, that feeling, it's not a personal failure. It's a sign that the system you're using is failing. And that's exactly what this framework is here to fix. See, the whole point of the Golden Path isn't some get-rich-quick fantasy. Not at all. The real goal, the one you can actually achieve, is to get organized permanently. Think of it like installing a brand new operating system for your financial life, one that finally brings some order to all that chaos. So who's the architect behind this whole thing? His name is Tamir Kaham. He's the creator of the YouTube channel The Golden Path to Financial Independence, and of course the originator of this system. What's so fascinating is his background. He's also the official Hebrew translator of the classic book The Richest Man in Babylon. So you've got this really unique blend of modern analytical systems engineering and timeless, ancient financial wisdom. Okay, so who is this explainer really for? It's for anyone who's ready to switch from the microscope view to the telescope view. We're not getting bogged down in the tiny details today. Instead, we're putting all the pieces together to see the whole picture. This is for those of you who are truly ready to move from financial dependence to asset ownership and to really embrace the freedom of choice that comes with that. Now, before we go one step further, we have to clear something up. This is absolutely critical. Financial independence is not the same thing as wealth. They're two different goals. Financial independence, that's a specific target. It's the point where your passive income covers your living expenses. It's all about freedom, and here's the key, it's achievable first. Wealth, on the other hand, is about accumulating way more than you need. That can come after you've already won your independence. This strategy, it is laser-focused on independence. So, here's maybe the most important takeaway of the entire system. Financial independence, it doesn't begin with money. It doesn't start with a big inheritance or a lucky break. It starts with awareness, knowing exactly where you stand. It starts with identity, changing how you see yourself. And it starts with a real willingness to learn. You know, without that foundation, any money you make is just built on shifting sand. All right, let's get into stage one and see how this all starts. It begins with step one, and it's all about identity. See, most of us are trapped in what you could call the employee mindset. The question is always, how can I trade more of my time for more money? But the critical shift, the one that changes everything, is moving to the asset owner mindset. That mindset asks a totally different question. What do I own that's working for me even when I'm not working? That mental flip has to happen before any of the practical steps will ever stick. Okay, once you've made that identity shift, step two is all about vision. Because just saying, I want to be rich, well, that's a daydream. And you can't engineer a bridge to a daydream, right? This system requires you to get specific. You need to define your financial independence index, a real, concrete number. That's what turns a vague wish into an actual engineering project you can build. And that brings us to stage two, building resilience. This is our launch pad. Steps 3 through 7 are all about going from chaos to control, step by step. First, we map our finances, and we have to be brutally honest about it. Then we create a conscious budget to tell our money where to go. We stabilize our cash flow, build that crucial savings habit, and finally, we build up an emergency fund. This isn't just a random to-do list. It's about creating the solid ground you need before you can even think about taking off. Once that stable ground is in place, it's time to optimize. Steps 8, 9, and 10 are all about cleaning up the past and making the present run on autopilot. We tackle debt strategically to free up cash for the future, and then, the real game changer, automation. The big idea here is to fire your willpower. Seriously, you stop relying on memory and discipline, and you turn your financial decisions into automated systems. That way, the right thing just happens every single time without you even thinking about it. Finally, you manage risk to protect everything you've built. And this leads us right into stage 3, growth. Step 11 is where you acquire your very first income-producing asset. This moment is huge, psychologically. It could be just $10 from a dividend stock. The amount is totally irrelevant. What matters is the mechanism. It's the first time you see with your own eyes that you can make money without trading hours of your life for it. That's a profound shift.
And once that light bulb goes off, once you've proven the concept to yourself, step 12 is all about scaling up. You go from that one little asset to building a whole portfolio. You start methodically creating multiple streams of passive income. This is the phase where you chip away at your reliance on a paycheck, piece by piece, until one day, going to work is a choice, not a requirement.
Now, this next part is maybe the most misunderstood piece of the whole puzzle. Step 13. It is not the last thing you do after you've finished everything else. Not at all. Continuous learning is the backbone of the entire system. It runs in parallel with all the other stages. Think about it. The world is always changing. Tax laws change, technology changes, markets change. Step 13 is basically the software update for your entire financial operating system, making sure it stays relevant and effective for years to come. So when you step back and look at the whole thing, you can see it's not just a collection of tips. It's a complete integrated operating system. You've got the foundation of identity and vision. You've got the resilience you build through control and optimization. And then you have the growth from scaling your assets. And all of it is supported by that backbone of continuous learning. It's the point where your money, your time, and your knowledge finally stop fighting each other and start working together, all pulling in the same direction.
Okay, we've just laid out the entire map. But here's the honest truth, and the biggest trap for anyone learning something new: analysis paralysis. Because knowledge without action, it's really just entertainment. After seeing this whole system, the biggest risk isn't getting it wrong, it's doing nothing at all. So the challenge for you is simple. What is your one action this week?
And please, don't try to boil the ocean. Don't do everything at once. The goal here is momentum, not perfection. Just pick one thing. Maybe this is the week you finally map your finances from step 3. Or maybe you just automate one single bill, that's step 9. You could even just spend an hour researching one asset class for step 11. Or how about this? Just calculate your FI number from step 2 and write it down. That's it. One small action is what takes you from being a passive learner to being an active asset owner.
All right, before we wrap up, we have to go over our disclaimer. It is absolutely critical that you understand this. This content is strictly educational. It is not personalized financial advice, and there are no guarantees of results. You are responsible for consulting qualified professionals like accountants, advisors, and lawyers, and for making your own decisions. So let's do a quick final recap of this entire system. First, financial independence begins with identity and learning, not with money. Second, the system is built in clear stages. You start with your foundation, you build your resilience, and then you move to growth. Third, remember that continuous learning, step 13, is the backbone that runs alongside everything else. The whole goal is to build an integrated operating system for your life. And of course, your challenge: pick one action this week to get started. If you want to go deeper on any of these steps, you can search for other resources that do a deep dive golden path. And I would definitely recommend checking out the YouTube channel, The Golden Path to Financial Independence. It's got some great charts, tools, and visual breakdowns that really bring these concepts to life.
And with that, we've reached the end of our overview. But for you, this could be just the beginning. You have the map. Now you have to be the one to walk the path. And always remember, you are the asset owner of your financial future.